It's a short story about a guy who handles things like a boss, about finding out that his girlfriend of 8 months, has spent the entire relationship communicating with her ex-boyfriend. An ex-boyfriend who she definitely has carried a torch for a very long time, used to be obsessed with, and he dumps her right on the spot upon finding this out. And of course, it's total meltdown central. As a perfect example, guys, you got to constantly keep your eyes open and watch your girl, who she hangs out with, who she talks to, and all that. And, the old saying about trust but verify, but now it's more like, honestly, verify but trust. Titled, Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girl after she lied about her ex? And a shout out to AM for sending this short story. He says, I'm 22 years old and been with my girl Sarah, a 27-year-old female, for about 8 months now. 27? Now, ordinarily I'd be smacking guys for the older chicks, but in this situation, he's in his 20s, so he's getting experience with older women. If he was going to marry her, then I'd smack him. When we first started dating, she told me she had been in only 2 serious relationships before, and that her last ex was ancient history, and they hadn't spoken in over a year. Everything was going great until last weekend when we went to her friend's birthday party. The guy shows up, and Sarah immediately gets weird. She introduces me to him as just my friend, which was already strange since we've been together for 8 months, and she introduces me as her boyfriend to literally everybody else. Oh yeah, something's going on. When a girl suddenly says, oh, this is my friend here, and you're her boyfriend, what does that tell you? And saying that to another guy? Come on here. Later on, I see them talking in the corner, and he's touching her arm, and she's laughing way too hard at whatever he's saying. He shouldn't be touching her. Shouldn't allow that crap. When I went over to join them, Sarah looked super uncomfortable, and the guy just walked away. I asked who he was, and she said, oh, just an old friend from college. But then her friend Emma came up to me later and said something about how weird it must be to meet the ex that got away. The ex that got away? You don't say that unless it's somebody that, this girl obviously had deep connection with. I was confused and asked what she meant. Emma looked shocked and said that she thought I knew that was Jake, Sarah's ex-boyfriend of 3 years, who she was obsessed with and only broke up with 6 months before we started dating. Broke up with, huh? Probably he was cheating on her. Or, I don't know, she probably did it to pull an ultimatum to see if he'd come back. Who knows? This guy here telling the story clearly is a placeholder. And by the way, I know a lot of you probably are like, what do you mean, SSM? It's okay for him to date an older woman? Because you're always not guys to date older women. A little different when you're very young and you're learning some tricks in the trade, if you will. I don't need to elaborate. But the problem is, with an older gal like that, she can certainly manipulate him if she wants to, which she obviously did. So you gotta be careful. Well, I confronted my girlfriend, Sarah, about the next day. She broke down crying and admitted that Jake was her ex, and they actually been texting on and off this entire time. Well, that's what she's telling our guy here. Obviously, if anybody has a brain knows, more has been going on. Come on. Just texting, really? She said she lied because she didn't want me to feel insecure and that nothing physical happened, but they've been staying in touch as friends. Yeah, staying in touch as friends with a guy that her friends said she was obsessed with? No. Bullcrap, bullcrap, bullcrap. I felt completely betrayed. Not only did she lie about when their relationship ended, but she's been texting him our entire relationship and then introduced me as just a friend when he showed up. She swore nothing happened and that she chose me over him, but I don't believe her anymore. Well, she's been lying the whole freaking time. She's been sneaking around behind your back. And I don't believe that nothing physical's happened. I'm sure none of you guys believe nothing physical's happened. But even if nothing physical did happen, it doesn't matter. She's betraying his trust. And you can't have a relationship without trust. Ditch the bitch. When I told her I needed time to think, she started crying and saying I was overreacting. Hobag Handbook Chapter 2, bring on the waterworks every time to soften a guy and manipulate him. She said lots of people stay friends with their exes, and she was just trying to protect my feelings by not telling me about their texting. Well, a lot of people do stay friends or friendly with their exes, but what she's doing was lying the whole time. And no, she doesn't care about protecting his feelings. If she was protecting this dude's feelings, she wouldn't have been lying to him and covering this up. Her friends have been messaging me saying I'm being too harsh and she made a mistake but really loves me. Yeah, he can feel the love through her lies. So here we go with the friends, sticking their nose in people's business. My friends are split. Some say once a liar, always a liar, and I should run. Others think maybe she was really just trying to protect me, and I should give her another chance. Well, smacked all those dumbasses saying that. And these friends of his, are they girls saying that or guys? But I keep thinking about how she introduced me as just a friend to her ex. That felt like she was keeping her options open or something. She was, dude. Trust your gut. Something's wrong here. And the fact that she's been texting him behind my back for months makes me wonder what else she might be hiding. Dude, there's a whole lot she's not telling you. Guaranteed. I told her yesterday that I was done and she needs to get her stuff from my apartment. Nice job, man. She's out of there. Now she's been calling and texting me nonstop saying she'll do anything to fix this and that I'm the best thing that has ever happened to her. If he's the best thing ever happened to her, you think she'd be introducing him to everybody, including an ex, as something more than my friend. Am I the a-hole for ending things over this? Should I give her another chance since nothing physical happened? Smack! Wake up! Gotta smack some sense in him. No, you're not the a-hole, man. Your gut is telling you something's wrong. You can't have a relationship without trust, and there is no trust. And you're always going to be wondering what's going on when she's on her phone, when she's out, when she says she has to stay late for work, amongst many other things. And do you really want to be her warden, tracking her 24/7, and not to mention what's going on in her social media and all that? No. Your gut told you this is wrong. It's time to end it. And I might add, you had your fun with the older chick, and hopefully you learned something in the bedroom from her. But beyond that, now it's time. You don't need to be too serious with this older chick, and move on. You're 22, for heaven's sake. You got your whole life ahead. Your life's just beginning. In fact, you need to be solo for a while, on your own, and work on establishing yourself in whatever job or career you're starting, busting your butt, saving money. And that's difficult to do when you're practically behaving like you're married. Because I guarantee you, she's 27. She's thinking wedding bells. Guaranteed. And honestly, you were the placeholder to keep her around just in case when she worked things out with the other guy. And inevitably, she would have dumped you for this guy. And you just don't need that. And if her friends are giving you a hard time, to hell with them. That's just what they do. Just say, hey, it's none of your business. Or you can block them. And your mutual friends, you can say the same thing. Now, a few comments here, and I got to say that's nice that everybody in the comment section agrees with me, which rarely happens. One guy says, her introducing you to everyone else as her boyfriend, but to Jake as my friend, says all you need to know. You're her boyfriend to everybody else. But if Jake is interested in her, then you're nothing more than a friend. She's already made her decision. She's just waiting for Jake to make his. Do not wait around as her plan B. You always be a placeholder until she finds someone she thinks is better. That's exactly it. Another one. This is from a woman. This lady says, not the a-hole, you are her backup. Hey, it takes one to know one. She introduced you as a friend and made sure to find time to spend with her ex at the party. She's been chatting with this man for months, and you've only found out after you confronted her. She started the relationship with a lie and continued to lie to you by giving you the impression that she was no longer in contact with any exes. I agree with your friends, or the right ones. Get out and don't look back. Sweetie, run. Again, that's a woman calling him sweetie, not a dude. And last one, this guy says, not the a-hole. If he really was just a friend, then she would have told you. But she didn't. She lied, and even her friend said that he is the ex that got away, which doesn't look very good. Bets are if the ex decided he wanted Sarah again, that she would have broken up with you in a heartbeat to be with him. Oh, guarantee she would have, in a heartbeat. Again, this guy's just someone she can wait around with and bide her time, the placeholder. But if this ex who she was obsessed with before snapped his fingers and said, come on over, done. But frankly, I think more has been going on behind the scenes. So anyhow, guys, there you go. Don't trust the whole so-called friend thing. Verify, but trust. Keep an eye on things, and always trust your gut.